Hey everybody, WhySoWookie here. In this video, we're going to go over Pubg Update 15.1 for the beginning of the new season, all the new patch notes, the new features, and everything else that's been changed in the game. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you do, consider liking and subscribing to see more. So the first thing to go over is the map service schedule. So in the new season 15.1 update, in normal matches, the maps are as follows: Arangel, Miramar, Sanhok, Tego and Vikendi, and in ranked, Arangel, Miramar and Tego, which is pretty good. I kind of hope one day they take out Sanhok. I actually didn't play Pubg this last update in 14.2, so I've not actually tried out the smoke grenade or the motor yet, but there's a couple of really cool features in this new update, so I'm going to dive in at some point on this one. But we'll go through those now. Now, the first new major feature is the mountain bike, which is awesome. Something that's been rumoured for a while and teased on the Alex the Pubg dev Twitter account a few times, and we're finally getting it, and we can see what form it's going to be in. So the bike itself is featured on all maps in normal modes. It spawns as a folded item, and you unfold it into a rideable state, and then you can also fold it back to put back in your inventory. It doesn't spawn in esports or anything like that, and you can only have one passenger on there. There also isn't a speedometer on it, so you don't get an accurate reading of your speed, but the max speed without sprinting is 50 kilometers. With 40% boost on your energy drink thing, it's up to 54, and with 100% it's up to 62. So it's not the fastest thing in the world, but you know, if you're chasing the blue, it's going to be better than running. The bike itself can't be destroyed. It weighs 70, so it's quite heavy, but there's also no fuel either, so it's not going to run out. So I can imagine it being pretty versatile, and I can imagine some pretty hilarious moments as well with 4 guys riding down the road on bikes. It's going to be pretty cool. It has a sprinting feature as well, so it says, like in real life, you can sprint on the mountain bike by putting in some physical effort to mash the move forward. Key repeatedly to cycle faster. Being boosted makes it easy to reach the max sprint speed. Higher tapping increases the maximum speed. It can also jump as well, so you can hold the jump button and do like bunny hops to get over, like, you know, tricky obstacles, stuff like that. And there's also wheelies as well for, you know, extra style points. And that's everything about the new bikes. I'm really looking forward to trying this out. I hope they spawn quite often, because I think there's going to be good fun. Next, we're going to take a look at some weapon balance updates that are coming in the new update. So the first one's the P90. As expected, the recoil has been tweaked, and it's increased the horizontal and vertical recoil. It's increased the ADS deviation during full auto and burst. It's lowered care package ammo from 250 to 200, which obviously, you know, shortens its usable time scale there as well. So a bit of a nerf on that. Shotguns have getting a bit of a buff, so it's increased the damage drop off to improve the effective range by several meters, so it's more effective at more of a mid range there. It's increased the hit probability on short range, so they're going to be more consistent up close, and sawn-offs have increased the damage by 1. I'm not sure really what that's going to do, and also on the sawn-off the pellet spread is reduced as well. So I suppose in a pinch, if you just, because sawn-off obviously is a pistol, so if you whack it out and cover a doorway, it's just going to be more reliable than it was, and all the other shotguns have had a more effective range. LMGs have also been tweaked, so they've reduced recoil when shooting in crouch and standing. They've increased the body damage multiplier from 1 to 1.05. The M249 has gone up by 1 damage, the MG3 has gone up by 2, and they've decreased the MG3's horizontal recoil. Now, the MG3 has always been far too recoily for me. I don't mind that it's really recoily in the super fast firing mode, because that kind of makes sense, but in the normal firing mode it's still quite recoily, I find. So they've decreased that slightly, so hopefully it becomes a bit more balanced, because I've always found like you take the MG3 just to rank up the weapon and get the little key coin, but most of the time you'd be better served just having a barrel or an AK, because you've got that more mid-range full auto and the long-range spraying. But we'll have to see what kind of update, you know, and what difference that will make. In SMGs, the headshot damage has gone from 1.8 to 2.1. They've increased the PP buys and weapon accuracy during ADS full auto. they've decreased the ump's damage at long ranges, and they've decreased the ump's weapon accuracy while full autoing. So the PP Bison's got a bit of a buff there, and the ump has had a little bit of a nerf. The AUG damage has gone up by 1, and the damage drop off has been improved to improve the effective range. So the AUG, I feel like, needed probably a bit more of a buff, because the AUG is a crate weapon. It's a good weapon, but it doesn't feel as devastatingly powerful as like your Groza or your P90. So we'll have to see if that extra damage and the more effective range makes that much of a difference. But I suppose only time will tell with that. Next, they've changed how the magazines are working, and this is actually quite a cool thing as well, to be honest. So the example here is on an M4, with the default magazine being 30 rounds. A quick draw mag, still 30 rounds but a 60% faster reload. The extended magazine to 42 rounds, which is more than normal because it was 40, so an extra 2 bullets. And then the extended quick draw magazine, 40 bullets and 15% faster reload. So this is going to mean that actually taking just a quick draw is a tactical advantage because you reload so much quicker. Just taking extended, you get the extra 2 bullets where you could potentially just finish that guy. And then the extended quick draw is kind of putting your eggs in both baskets and getting a bit of both. So it is going to increase the tactical decision to be made here. Certainly something, I mean, this is obviously an example for an M4. If they change the bullet capacitors on things like DMRs, the extended is probably better because you don't necessarily have to reload as quick. But up close and personal with your M4, the 60% faster reload, you know, if you can land those shots, 30 bullets is still more than enough. Maybe more valuable to you. So it'd be fun to experiment with them and see what's happening. Next, they've done some world updates. So the first one is to the boot camp in Sanhok, and as you can see, they've completely changed the layout. This big centre building is moved further to the edge, so it's only surrounded on 3 sides now. The barns in the centre have been completely removed and have been moved to the right hand side just off the road. And then they've changed like the layouts of some of the taller buildings. There's not as many of the 3-stack ones, especially to the northern side, and it seems a bit more open. And they've also done a lot of weapon balances on the windows as well on the outside of the main building. So instead of being big wide open windows where you can see all around, you can see that they're quite small, and that's to prevent camping and stuff like that. So quite a nice change there, and hopefully it's still just as chaotic and it doesn't put people off jumping there. They've also made some more changes to the river systems on Sanhok as well, and again they've done this for the last 2 or 3 updates. It feels like adding more rocks and trees to areas on Sanhok, but again they've done it here, so there's more big rocks on the river sides, so it should be a bit safer to cross. Next, we take a look at the Vikendi update, and they're doing like a Christmas themed update, Keiko and friends, and they've kind of like redone Dino Land in quite a lot of this. So you first image, this is like the main square, you can see the volcano in the background. There's like an ice rink here. I assume this is quite just in front of the car park, which is pretty cool, or like a whole new feature. And then in the other image you can see like how there's different cosmetic stuff all around the area, with a whole new like Ferris wheel thing on there, which is pretty cool. And again, it's just going to spritz it up a bit, so you know it doesn't feel like the same old place you've been dropping for ages. They've added the Christmas weather effect as well, which is also available in custom games. As well as that, in the new update, ranked 15 of season ranking will start as well, which at the beginning of the season will grant you your season 14 placement rewards, which is the same as every season at this point. They've also had a bit of a quality of life feature in the action wheel, so obviously it's got to the point now where there's so many emotes and now spray cans, they have an action wheel 1 and 2, which you can toggle between, so it effectively doubles the amount of emotes you can have on your wheel at once, which is pretty good. And that's pretty much it. There's done a lot of bug fixes as usual as well. Probably added a lot more bugs in as usual as well, but we'll have to see how they go. But that's it. Quite a cool update. The BMX looks fun and the map changes look interesting. But that's it for this update. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider liking and subscribing to see more. Wookie out.